Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to our wonderful webinar. My name is Anita Padala, and I am also a Bauman graduate. So I graduated from the Bauman Nutrition Consultant Program back in 2019, and having had such a wonderful experience, I was in constant communication with my mentors and they guided me and I was able to take a board exam by NANP, and I was also able to pursue masters after that, and I'm back at Bauman now as a mentor. So I'm happy to be here today and happy to do the presentation today. All right. So today's presentation is on the 5 foundational and fun food facts to support health. Um, you all may be aware that good health comprises of several factors, food being one of them, of course, and then we have our lifestyle like exercise, stress management, good quality sleep, hydration, social connections, and there are a lot of things we are also not supposed to do to add to that aspect of supporting our health. But in today's presentation, we would be focusing on the nutrition aspect, the food aspect, just about 5 basic fundamental principles that help us support our health. We can move on to the next slide, Michelle. All right, so we'll start with fiber, and this is a question, and you can all take a guess for yourself, and we will put the answer out shortly. So, which do you think has more fiber? A cup of lentils, a cup of chia seeds, or a cup of oats? So, yeah, you can take your guesses, and the next, you will see the answer on the next slide. Yep, there you go. So the answer is a cup of chia seeds with 55 grams of fiber, and flax and hemp are also other excellent sources of fiber, legumes, whole grains, fruits and vegetables, and nuts. The next one. All right. So we're all aware that we have basic macronutrients called the carbohydrates, the proteins, and fats. The question is, where does fiber figure, right? So fiber is a carbohydrate, and the interesting aspect about this is we can digest it. So it kind of passes through our body, but it has many benefits, right? So fiber is of 2 kinds. We have the soluble kind and we have the insoluble kind. So soluble is what dissolves in water. And when that dissolves in water, it causes that gooey gel-like substance, and that kind of gives us that benefit of blood sugar regulation, also helps with managing better cholesterol levels. The insoluble fiber is, of course, the fiber that does not dissolve in water, and that kind of causes that roughage, that bulk, which adds to our food and helps promote those regular bowel movements. Of course, fiber in general has a good satiation effect after a meal. Fiber feeds a healthy gut microbiome, which we're going to talk about a bit later, and overall reduces the risk of developing conditions such as heart disease and diabetes and diverticulitis disease, etc. A tip over here is to keep your seeds like chia, hemp, and flax in the refrigerator because they stay fresh longer, of course, but that also prevents them from getting oxidized and you derive more benefit from that. When we talk about fiber, I also want to just throw in a fun fact about fiber. Did you ever think that something like a banana can be advertised? So 1918, bananas were advertised as superfoods because that was the time for World War I, and people needed a quick, energy-giving, fiber-rich food that could help them last longer. So that's a fun fact. Also, added to that, banana, we all think, comes under the category of is it a berry? Is it a herb? Well, it is a berry. It's defined botanically under the category of a berry. That's another fun fact for you on bananas. We can move on to the next slide, Michelle. The next group of food that we're going to discuss is the fermented or the probiotic foods. So this is a picture of our gut. And what you see on the outside is the large intestine, and what you see on the inside, where you see the lens is looking at, is your small intestine. So when we talk about our gut, Overall, in our human body, we have about approximately 30 trillion human cells, but more than 100 trillion microbes in our intestine. And this comprises of the bacteria, the fungi, the viruses, everything put together. That's where you have your microbes. And we have more microbial cells than human cells. So we're actually more of our gastrointestinal system than we are of what we are, you know? So this is an ecosystem of, of its kind in our body. We can also treat it like a different organ because it defines us in many ways. It offers huge health benefits depending on how it's treated, helps us with our immune health, and we will learn more about what comprises of a good gut microbiome in the next slide. The next one, yeah. So, what does this beneficial bacteria that we're talking about do? It helps us manufacture vitamins like B1, B2, B5, B12, folate, biotin, K2. So your gut microbiome actually helps us make vitamins, right? It influences our mood and brain development, helps metabolize compounds, regulates appetite and food cravings, supports the immune system, supports the gut function, and it takes care of inflammation. We cannot survive with our gut microbiome. It is a very, very important aspect of our immune system, neurological system, because now science says we have a direct connection between the brain and the gut. And this axis is called the gut brain axis. And so, what happens in the gut doesn't stay in the gut, it has an impact on our neurological health and vice versa. Okay, the next slide. All right. So, what do we do to make sure that we have a great gut? What do we do to take care of that beneficial bacteria? What can we do for that? It depends on what we feed the beneficial bacteria, because if we feed that bacteria the right kind of food, it will multiply and it adds to the health of the gut microbiome. So that's where the fermented or the probiotic foods figure. So if we feed more fiber, more fermented foods, we have better microbes in the gut, and that helps us make those vitamins and also helps us take care of any inflammation and overall is very protective of our immune system. So the kind of foods that we could incorporate into our day-to-day meals to take care of our gut health is cultured dairy or non-dairy. So that's yogurt, cottage cheese, kefir, kimchi, kombucha, sauerkraut, tempeh, miso, pickles, and natto. So this is the natto, the miso, the tempeh are more largely used in the eastern side of the world, but I do see that we also have a lot of people incorporating that into their day-to-day meals. So it's fermented soy. Natto is more of the sticky, gooey kind of soy, which also is rich in omega-3. Tempeh is of the firmer kind and is higher in the omega-6. So these are the kind of foods that we can eat to promote better gut health. Next slide, Michelle. And of course, fruits and vegetables. We all know that they are great for our health because they contain compounds called the phytonutrients, right? These are the kind of components, the compounds that help defend the plant against things like pests or UV rays. So these are plant protective compounds which are very beneficial for us. And these are the compounds that provide the plant's unique color and flavor. The next slide. Right? Oh, I think that got repeated. The next slide. Right. So polyphenols in fruits and vegetables, like we said, they help with inflammation, they help promote healthy cells, support hormone levels, and they act as antioxidants. What color can you add into your diet? New color based on your preference. If there are vegetables and fruits that you can incorporate, you're just adding those polyphenols and those phytonutrients, which are brain protective, heart protective, cell protective, helps with inflammation and helps with overall immunity. Next slide. So they say eat the rainbow, and there's a reason why they say eat the rainbow. The more color we eat, the spectrum of these polyphenols that we add is going to be huge. So more the benefit. Red color fruits and vegetables give us what is called as lycopene. Orange could give us beta carotene. Green can give us chlorophyll. Blue purple give us anthocyanins. So all the different polyphenols can be incorporated into our diet if we increase that spectrum of what we're eating in color, right? The next slide. Healthy fats. So fats are actually good for our system, and healthy fats, which we will look at what those sources are very important for our brain health, our cell health, because brain is made of 60% fat. The more good quality fats we eat, better for our neurological health. They enhance memory, prevent cognitive decline, decrease any inflammation in the brain, benefit our mood, health, reaction time, vigilance, visual activity. So, kind of staying more alert and having better cognitive abilities with good brain health. Next slide. Right. So these are the kind of fats we want to incorporate into our day-to-day meals: avocados, coconuts, nuts and seeds, hemp, chia, and flax, nut and seed butters, olives, oils, cold-pressed ones, especially extra virgin olive oil, and wild cold water fish like salmon and sardines. Avocado is a very interesting fruit because they say the more avocado we add into our salads and into our foods, they say that it helps with the absorption of vitamins and minerals from the other foods. So, avocado is a great food by itself, but great when you combine it with other foods because it enhances the absorption. Olives are, in fact, fruits because of the way they are. They have that pit just like you have in peaches and plums. So, it's olives actually come under the category of fruit. So, some fun facts about avocados and olives. Next slide, Michelle. Anti-inflammatory foods. So there is an overlap in these foods. If you have a great gut health, you are taking care of the inflammation in your body. But when we talk about the anti-inflammatory foods, we're talking about all those the prebiotic foods, which are your vegetables, the fiber. They all help with the immune system that we have, out of which 70% is in the gut. So we know that the gut is talking to us all the time. We just need to feed it right, and we will hear back good quality health that we have if we kind of treat it well. Next slide. So this is again all your green leafy vegetables, berries, grapes, cherries, high in fiber, high in polyphenols, high in phytonutrients, and of course vitamins and minerals. Nuts and seeds, herbs and spices like ginger, rosemary, turmeric, and cinnamon. Wild cold water fish, salmon and sardines, avocado, and green tea. So these are the foods that help us with our inflammation, if any kind of inflammation in our body, but also are high in fiber, and that's great for our gut health. Next slide. So that's just a recap of what we spoke of so far. So it's fiber, healthy fats, fermented foods, fruits and vegetables, anti-inflammatory foods, the 5 foundational foods for supporting our health. Yep, that's it. I think we are at the end. Yeah, I will be very happy to take any questions.